Thanks, people. Paul here from Greenshire Homestead. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I've mentioned I've got hay here on my ground in my containment area. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what the difference between hay and straw is. Hay is when your pasture grass, is somewhere between the knee and the hip, depending on where the farmer wants to cut it. They come through with the sickle mower, cut the grass off, and then they rake it into furrows, and then they let it dry. And once the grass is dry where it won't mold, then they come through with their baler, bale that up either into square bales or the large round bales you see out in the field. One large round bale is usually about the equivalent amount of hay as 30 of the square bales. What straw is when the farmers grow their wheat and barley, and then they come through and they harvest at the end of the season after the wheat and the barley are dry and ready to be harvested. They go through the fields with their combines, and they harvest all the wheat and the barley, and then the stalk that is left behind, that's the straw. They do the same thing when the straw is left, that stalk that the wheat and the barley grew on is left there. They rake that into furrows, and then they come through with their baler, and they bale that straw. So the straw is the dead stalk of the wheat and the barley, and hay is the dry grass from the pasture. That's really that is what the difference is. The reason I choose to use the hay is the hay binds together better. It's a little heavier, and it binds together better than the straw. Straw is real light, and it's very it's kind of slick, and it's hollow, and it's more easily blown around by the wind, and it's more easily thrown around by the chickens. So that's why I use the hay, because it just binds together, and it's harder for the wind to blow and the chickens to throw. The other reason some people would rather use straw, if they're going to eventually put this on their garden like I do, is straw typically will have less seed in it, because the hay is harvested from a hay field where you're going to have weeds, and some of the grass has gotten tall enough that it's actually gone to seed. So there's grass seed, there's weed seed, but in the fields with the wheat and the barley, the farmer has already cultivated that field and then done some spraying for the weeds. So there's going to be less weeds in the wheat and the barley straw than there is in the pasture grass hay. I don't worry about that, because the chickens have turned this so many times, and they've rooted through it, so they've eaten all the weed seed, they've eaten all the grass seed, and they've just turned it over so much that it started to break down, and the chances of there being any seed left in that by the time I put it on the garden is very, very slim. So there's your difference between hay and straw, why I prefer to use hay than straw. So you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. This is Paul at Greenshire Homestead, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you.